I've given a lot of consideration as to what rule number one should be. Should it be something as simple as mindset? You can't do something until you believe you can. You need to believe that you are actually worth $1 million or more. While you still believe that you're simply an employee who gets paid whatever the employer wants to pay you, you're still trapped in that just over broke mentality. You need to be able to step forward, step up to where you're satisfied in life. Is it about goal setting? If I wanted to get somewhere and it's 1,000k away and I got in my car and simply drove for 1,000k, would I be where I want to be? I need to sit down and plan the journey. So maybe it should be planning. If I plan out my various steps, I should get to where my goal is. And then I'll be able to do what I believe is worth doing, whatever that may be, or whatever destination that may be. However, all that's great until you realise that if the car breaks down, you have an accident, and all the million of other things that can go wrong impact on that journey, then it creates a little bit of a hiccup. That hiccup being self-doubt. You should never have actually tried it in the first place. Why didn't you actually put more planning in? And all the negative thoughts that go through your head. And here I am just sitting here enjoying a beautiful sunny day. So it's cold out, by the way, just in case you're wondering. It occurred to me that I'm actually happy. And being happy is perhaps rule number one. After all, if you're happy with what you're doing and all the rest of it, then do you really need to make $1 million? Is it simply that by going forward, you're just going to create a lot more stress for yourselves than what you need? So then I think, well, okay, so I stop work tomorrow, my partner stops work tomorrow, and we live on what we got saved. How long would I last? So, although I can sit here on a beautiful sunny day, the reality is I need to make money because I don't have a big enough buffer. Now, our buffer is a little bit better than many others, and yes, we probably could survive quite comfortably with what we've got, but the average buffer for most people is less than 2 weeks. Just think about that for a sec. 2 weeks, and that's all you've got. You're out of money. You don't have any way to pay your bills. You don't have... It's a rather scary thought process. Just add your money together, work out what your bills are, and get back to me on that one. I reckon you'll find that it's under 2 weeks. Then it occurred to me that perhaps rule number one is don't die. Morbid, but true. I don't have to worry about money if I'm dead. But I'm not going to be making money if I'm dead. Well, is that true? What if I set in place sufficient streams of income that I would continue to make money? My family would end up be safe, they get to enjoy it, that would actually be a pretty good outcome. Well, apart from the fact that I'm dead and I can't actually spend it. So, all of these different thought processes, what the hell am I doing here? You're probably asking the same question. What is this bloke rabbiting on about? Well, I'm going to be trying to make $1 million in the next 365 days. I'm going to be making multiple streams. I'm going to be tapping into as many mentors as I can find. There's an old saying, it's no good being the smartest person in the room. I'm a firm believer of that. I used to struggle with that because, being a little bit full of myself, I used to end up thinking, well, I am the smartest person in the room. And I realised that each person contributes in their own way. I have a business friend, and he is fantastic as a coach. He can explain all sorts of business dynamics, the processes that go into making a business run successfully, and yet he himself struggles with some aspects of his life. I have friends who are brilliant strategists, but as good a strategist as they are, they lack some of the confidence. They can see what's going to take place. They can second guess every possibility. And perhaps that's why they lose some of that confidence, because of the fact that they can't necessarily see how to actually implement it in a positive way. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me on that one. I'm still struggling. I suppose what it comes down to, though, is finding your mentors. Stay alive, keep friendly, keep talking, and find your mentors. Find out what they can teach you and take it on board. Implement any of the actual strategies they suggest, or if they see potential problems, then take that on board and say, right, okay, I can actually go with this. I'm pleased you pointed that out to me, and I'm going to try and move in a better direction. If you don't have those mentors yet, and I must admit, in some regards, I don't believe I am going to say this, but actually check out some decent multi-level marketing schemes. I don't like them, but I now understand why many of the rich do. It's not because they are a vessel to get rich. They are a vessel for education. Some of the information they have, some of the people that they have talking to the population that's, or all of their members, are absolute brilliant information providers. They look at life from a different perspective to the average person, and they're able to bring about changes within those people from the conversations they have. I was listening to some Amway CDs. I think they call them Agenda 21 or some other rubbish. And I was blown away by just how in sync these people were. They were able to understand that a person needs a why before they get to success. Oh yes, by all means, you may fluke it, but it's not until you hit the hurdles that you stumble. And it's not until you stumble you begin to wonder about the policies, the procedures, and whether or not it's all worthwhile. And only then does your why come into focus. What actually drives you? One of them was telling me about a child they had. And keep in mind, this is in America, and this is all about them struggling along, and they want to actually end up achieve this, they want to achieve that, blah blah blah. But what really struck me was this child. They had a child, and it cost $200,000 to have a child in America. They just did my head in. Like here in Australia, of course, we have pretty well free healthcare. So the idea that it would actually cost to have a child just really surprised me. But that was their why. They were $200,000 in debt, and they looked like they were about to lose everything that they'd already worked for. Their house, their car, furniture. They didn't regret it. They had a beautiful baby boy, but they were going to lose everything for the privilege of having a child. So, what's your why? Their why was easy. They either end up lived on the street, or they made money. So, what is the why that is going to drive you past the pain over the next 365 days if you try to keep up with me? Or what is the reason for why you want to actually stay where you are? If you are genuinely not happy with where you are, you need to start with yourself. You need to start looking at what it is that you've achieved. Are they the items that have made you genuinely happy, or are you the sort of person who week after week looks forward to the next payday just so that you can actually pay your bills and hope to be able to go out for a few drinks and maybe buy a treat? Do you really think money's going to make a difference? I'll tell you the truth there, it doesn't. Having millions of dollars does not really make you happy. So you do need to start with who you are and why you want to do it. Me, next 365 days, the main reason for me wanting to actually achieve that is I just purely want to show people that there are options. It's not about being stuck because, well, this is where you were born. This is an opportunity to move forward. Now, this will hopefully be the last rambling type video that I do. I was hoping that Piggy might actually come over because one of my friends made the observation last week that I really should end up put on a grey coat, pick up a white cat, and be sitting there and perhaps with my... But I think that's the right gesture anyway. I'll be stuffed. I'd never actually really liked those movies, but I know who he's referring to. So, if at some stage you see me in a grey coat, holding on to a white little goat, over the next 4 weeks, I intend to start going through the practical aspects, if you like, the theoretical, being how to plan, how to set your goals, mindset, and bring it all together for us to begin on the 30th of June. Just remember, like the video if you do, leave the comments, and follow my progress. Thank you very much for watching.